In this video, I'm going to show how to set up a MERN stack. So a MERN stack is a MERN, that stands for Mongo, Express, React, and Node. So using these four components, we can create a full stack web application. So for my MongoDB, I am using MongoDB Atlas, which is the free cloud version. And then I have Express and then React servers here. So my React is my certificate issuer app, and my Express is the certificate issuer backend. So we need to, after we download all the node packages, we can create these two apps here. And after we created the Express and the React apps, how do we actually use the stack itself? I can show you the example here. So first of all, we need to set up our database connection to MongoDB. So I have this file here called db.ts, and this uses the Mongoose library to just connect to my MongoDB. So you have to use your you have to get the Mongo URI from your MongoDB connection, and I have it in my env file, which I will not show because there is a private link. So once I have this connection in my index, so when I load up the server, you will use the index. So in my index, I will connect to the database used by calling this. So I'm connecting to the DB, and once I'm connected to DB, I can call data and read data from the database. And next, after we do the connection to the database, we can use Express to have an API to create an API for the React app to call. So I have this app.use here, which creates the API link. So app.use /API/trainees, and this would bring me to the trainee route server, the file. So I have this file here called trainee routes. So in my trainee routes, this is the default route. I can just do a router.get, and then it will call get trainee, and then router.post will create trainee. So this get trainee and create trainee, you can see here, is from my controller. So now moving on to my controller file. You can see here in the trainee controller file, I have the get trainee function and the create trainee function. So both of these would call upon the trainee model in my model file. So you see await trainee.find and new trainee. So we can go to my model file trainee, and this is where all the data from my trainees in my MongoDB database will come from. So I have a schema here which will set the collection of the trainee. So they have a name and an email. So if I go to my MongoDB Atlas, you can see here I have this database called trainee certificates, and within my trainee certificates there is a collection called trainee, and within my collection of trainee there is a name and email. So the ID will be automatically generated for the collection, so we don't have to set any IDs. So once this is created from Mongoose, you can see here the schema, the model, and the document is created. So I'm using this model to create a collection into my MongoDB database, and then after that I can use the get trainees and create trainees to either get the data or add more data to my collection. So once I have all this set up, my API is ready, then I can call it from my React server. So if I go to my React app and I have this in my source trainee list component. So in my trainee list component, it's just a simple list to call my trainee, so I can get the name and the email for each trainee in my collection. So when this this component is opened, we can use this use effect to actually call this fetch trainee function. And in this fetch trainee function, so I'm calling the fetch trainee function here. So in this fetch trainee function, I am using my Express API. So you can see here localhost.5000. This is my Express server port /API/trainee. So if I go back to my index from this file, you can see here /API/trainee. So this would actually call the the get trainee function from the Mongo from the Express when I use my get HTTP get. Okay, so I am getting my response. So once I got the response, I set the data into my trainees variable, and once I have that, I can use this trainee to get the trainee name and the trainee email. So basically this is how you use a MERN stack to call data from your database all the way to your front end. Okay, so I can just show you an example of how the app works. Okay, so if I use a npm run dev both, so this would run both my React and Express together, and that is done through the concurrently package. So if I go to package and I have concurrently installed. Okay, it's the wrong one. Go to app package. Yes, this one. So I have this script here called dev both. So I'm using concurrently, and it runs npm run.dev on my React app, and then npm run.dev in my Express. So it runs both at the same time. As you can see here, both are ready. So if I go to the Chrome, I open the link. Okay, so I have a connect wallet button here. So this is for a Web3 app that I'm building. You can watch the open attestation video if you want to see how it's done. But let me just log in here. So once I log into my MetaMask, I have this page here. So if I go to my trainee list, you can see the trainee list is John Doe and Jane Smith, and this is the same as what I have in my database here: name and email, name and email.